Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. In this video, I got an idea to do this video because I saw a channel pop up and they did this tier list of would I survive this slasher? And I think their channel's called Real Dead. I subscribed to them after I watched their trap review. And apparently this particular tier list is from another YouTuber named Cody Leach, whose channel I'm not really familiar with. But I thought that this was actually a really cool and fun tier list idea. I bet that there's a lot more slasher villains that you could probably add to the list. So let's get started. There are 5 tiers. There's Dead as Fuck, Losing Limbs, Place Your Bets, I Got This, and They're My Bitch. To start off, we have Angela from Sleepaway Camp. Now, I gotta say, this is tough. Because are we just considering Angela from the first movie, where she's not really that intimidating. She's intimidating because you don't know that she's a killer, and of course you don't know that she's a he, and that she has this whole messed up backstory that, contributes to her insanity. She's an unknown. But if you knew her and if she was chasing you around, I think that she'd be pretty easy to beat. The problem is, in the second one and the third one, Pamela Springsteen's Angela is basically unstoppable. The only reason why people get away in the third one is because she likes them. And she's like, okay, I'm going to let you guys go. And then they're just like, fuck you. That's probably one of my favorite parts of any slasher movie, because she's going to let them all go. And they're like, no, fuck you. And then she just gets messed up. So I'm gonna say that she would be my bitch, because I really am not very intimidated by Angela from the first movie, especially since it's Felissa Rose, who's just a really, really sweet person in real life. And she gave me a hug the first time I met her. It was the first celebrity that I ever met at a convention, and she just came right out and hugged me. And so, yeah, I'm not very intimidated by this character. Just think about there's really not any situation where she could probably get the best of me. Now, Annabelle, I'm not familiar with these movies. I've never seen any of the Annabelle movies. But I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of supernatural stuff. And of course, I have my own stories with that. But I'm going to put her in the Place Your Bets tier, because I'm really not sure. I'd probably just burn her in a fire. Is she burnable? Not burnable. Is she flammable? Has anyone just did what the mom did with Chucky and Child's Play, where she, picks him up and she does the match, those old school fireplace matches, and then she's just gonna throw him in there. That's exactly what I'd fucking do to Annabelle. But I'm not really sure, what does Annabelle do to kill you? Does she actually physically kill you? I've never seen any of the movies. I heard that the third one was really good. That's the funny thing, is that, the first and the second one, people pretty much, they don't like them. But then the third one, everyone is like, oh my god, that's a great movie. It's a great horror movie. Now, Jeepers Creepers, oh god, that guy scares the hell out of me. I would be dead as fuck dealing with that guy. That Jeepers Creepers, I used to get so scared of that movie as a kid. And, just even, the opening of the movie, I would not want to... I was so scared of watching that movie. It was unbelievable. And he's just extremely powerful. Like, pretty much, like, all you can do is just, like, run away from him until he's... But he's gonna, come after you until he gets what he wants. And it's too bad that we never got the official fourth movie from the original creator of the series because of, them taking the franchise and then ruining it and doing that crappy fourth one that they made. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers is probably... he might be like the second most powerful character on this whole list, and it's all because they never got to make the last one where the characters would reunite and finally defeat him. So he's pretty much probably going to be undefeatable for the rest of history. So yeah. Now the Nun is another character who I'm not familiar with, so I'm just going to put her in the place your bets. I've not seen any of the Nun movies. Frankly, I'm not interested. I'm glad that people like them, but I couldn't care less. Now, Pennywise, it's too bad because they don't have the original Tim Curry Pennywise on this list. I feel like that character is so much scarier, and I was actually, like, intimidated by that character. Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is probably one of the lamest horror movie characters in history by the way that he gets defeated in the second movie. They just bully him to death and shit. Like, that was just weak sauce. And I feel like, let's see, what am I afraid of? Well, I'm afraid of being alone at certain points. I'm afraid of home invasion. I'm afraid of spiders. Because I'm trying to think, what would Pennywise turn into to scare me? A centipede? I did actually write a script earlier this year where the main villain is actually like a centipede, demon, human hybrid type thing. And that definitely... Ooh, God, that was so gross to visualize. But, like, yeah, I guess Pennywise would probably turn into a giant centipede then, unless he just simulated, like, a home invasion type thing. But either way, I think I would be able to beat him. I'm going to put him in the I got this tier, because I did conquer my anxiety disorder last year. I was very, very persistent about it. I didn't really allow myself to go backwards a lot. There were some days where I would take a step back, or I would fall back on bad habits. And even this year, I've had some bad anxiety days. However, I feel like the way that you defeat Pennywise, that almost makes it like a joke that he's even on this list. So yeah. The next characters, I think, are the characters from the Wrong Turn series. I've never seen that series. They don't look that bad. I'm just going to put them in the place your bets tier, because again, I haven't seen those movies. Next up is Billy from Black Christmas. Now, this is another creepy character. And the thing about Billy is that he is another unknown. And he's actually even scarier because we don't really know what he looks like. He has like some kind of personality disorder. Like, he is really, really insane. He is probably one of the most underrated, like, horror characters of all time. That being said, I'm a man. And I feel like he's more into preying on women, messing with them, getting off on, like, doing those nasty phone calls. I don't think that I would have that much of a problem with him. So I'm going to put him in the I got this tier. I might not have very many people in the they're my bitch tier, but that's just because, like, I know that realistically, being in a situation like this, it would be very horrifying. You know, like, I think it's kind of insane to even just suggest that, like, oh yeah, that person would be my bitch, because it's like, nah, it would probably be really terrifying, even if it was like a little puppy, like a zombie puppy or something, you know, like, real life can be really scary. Now, Candyman, I would definitely be dead as fuck. Candyman is another extremely powerful character. I would not want to mess with him. I think that Candyman, in the first movie at least, he seemed almost virtually unbeatable. And it was only in the second and third movie where it became, like, easier. Oh, all you gotta do is just destroy this painting. Or I can't forget what the other way was, but, like, yeah, that's all you gotta do. You just destroy the painting. So, yeah. But, you know, that being said, like, he's just so powerful. I don't think that he's that scary. I think he's more of, like, a tragic character. But he is still so powerful that I would not want to mess with him. I feel like he would definitely have the upper hand on me. And, yeah. Next up is the tall man from Phantasm. This one's tricky because I have not seen all the Phantasm movies. I have only seen the first and second so far. I really loved the first and second movie. I thought that they were great horror movies. I think that this character, he is pretty damn scary. Like, I got really creeped out by the first movie the first time I saw it. I definitely would have been really scared of it as a kid, too. But in the second one, but no... I think a big problem with this series is that you sometimes don't really know what's really going on. And that could be what really trips me up. Is that, like, oh yeah, we just all got away, right? Oh no, actually that person is the tall man. Like, that would be really scary to me. I would probably then be the final kill of the movie. But, like, I think that this character, I would be able to beat him with a caveat if I got Reggie to be with me and me and him could go around together like him and Michael do. In the second movie, I definitely would be able to beat the tall man. But if it was just me all by myself, I feel like that's the question here, and so I'm going to have to put it in the place your bets tier, simply because I don't know. I'm not really sure. Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal's interesting because in order for him to want to get after you, you have to do something rude to him, and you have to just be a rude, despicable person. And I'm just going to be right out with it. I'm a really nice person for the most part. I mean, I do have a lot of times where I'm irritable, because probably because I'm feeling ill, and but, like, I'm not really like a rude person. I'm not a nasty person. I go out of my way to be nice. I go out of my way to do things for people that probably I'm told all the time that I'm too trusting and I'm too nice. I've been told countless times this year. And so I'm going to put Hannibal in He's My Bitch, because I genuinely think that if I got a chance to be in a room with Hannibal Lecter, he would probably just think like,
well, he's a kind of a nice guy. I'd like to have him be my patient so that I can manipulate him.
Or something, like, I don't know, like, but I don't think that the dinner would go that badly. Even though I know that he's a cannibal, I know that he's a bad guy, I would genuinely just want to have dinner with him. I literally wouldn't care. I would be so enthralled to have dinner with Hannibal Lecter and to just, get his advice on the world. Like, who would Hannibal Lecter vote for? Like, just ask him the most insane questions, like, oh, Hannibal, what do you think about Hell's Kitchen? Have you ever watched Master Chef before? And he'll be like, no, I find those shows distasteful and appalling. I feel like it would be so entertaining to just have dinner with Hannibal. He would be such a nice guy. I don't know what his ultimate goal is because, Thomas Harris, he wrote this stupid origin story where basically he just wants revenge for his sister's death or something, and he's just a cannibal because of that or something. So, like, I really don't know what his ultimate goal is, but I do know that I'm not a rude jackass person, and I would definitely probably be a buddy of his, regardless of his cannibalism. Next up is Freddy Krueger. This one's tough. I'm really not that scared of Freddy Krueger. In fact, I think that Freddy Krueger, he really got ruined after the first two movies. Like, even though the third one and the fourth one are really, really good, all the comedy and all of the slapstick humor, I don't like it. I think that it ruins the character. I would go so far as to say that I wish that they could erase all of the movies after parts 1 and 2, and if they could make a third one that goes back into the serious roots and goes back to this character that is genuinely terrifying, and he has these moments that are funny, but they're not funny to be funny. They're funny because they're just incidentally funny, like the thing with the tongue and the phone, blah, 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 blah. And stuff like that. Like, that was good. I don't like all the over the top with him. But and so what my point though is that Freddy Krueger would have to scare me. And I'm really not very scared of Freddy Krueger. I've had a lot of nightmares in my life. I've documented a lot of my nightmares, and I really haven't had much of an issue with bad guys in dreams. Like, I've had so many instances, in fact, where I've almost gotten killed, almost gotten into a bad situation, and then I got out of the dream and I woke up immediately. There's been situations where, I think, the only situations where I've, died in a dream are, situations where I died without any other person causing it. Like, there was one last year where I was, sinking into the dirt and I was turning numb all over or something, and it was really scary. But, I think I can actually defeat Freddy Krueger. I'm going to put him in the I got this tier because I'm not scared of him, A. B, in all of the nightmares that I've had, I've woken up. There was this one dream. I'm just going to give this one example. I think I already talked about it last year or earlier this year. I can't remember, but it was a Saw dream. I had it. It was just so random. It was the perfect pitch for a Saw sequel. It was a detective story, where I was on a vacation, and I wanted to see the new Saw movie, and instead I got put into this room that was a Saw escape room, and it turned into oh, you thought you were going to see the movie? Well, you are the movie. And this is going to be a Saw game. And basically what it was there was these traps all over the room, and they had all these instructions on how to get out of them. And then, in a couple of minutes, though, nobody paid attention or listened, and literally every single person, got, destroyed almost. And then finally, there was, one person left or something besides me, and Then there were these people who came in who tried to attack us, and we killed them, and then I think I escaped, or we both escaped. So yeah, I got through a Saw room in my dream. I'm pretty sure if I can do that, then I can make Freddy Krueger my bitch. In fact, I'm going to put him in the They're My Bitch tier. Damien from The Omen, I've not seen the Omen movies. In fact, I am so embarrassed to say I have only ever seen the Omen remake. And yes, I am literally not saying anything because I'm waiting for someone to unsubscribe, because isn't that like blasphemous as a horror fan? Like, I have not seen any of the Omen movies except for the remake. Like, yeah, that's really cringe. And I know it. I'm far behind, but like, yeah. Next up is Kurt Barlow from Salem's Lot. This is a character that I'm not really that familiar with, the character from the book, because I haven't read the book. I'm not a big reader. Maybe I could read some Stephen King books, even though he has become a really, really weird, irritating figure on Twitter. I really don't like him and how he pushes his politics on people. But this character, he gets defeated pretty easily in the movie. I mean, right? Like, all the stuff, like, leading up to staking Kurt Barlow is what's scary. You know, like, all the shit that they have to deal with before they even get to Kurt Barlow is what's hard to do. And then they get to Kurt Barlow, right? And then they just stake him or whatever. I can't remember. I really loved that movie, but like, yeah, I mean, he's a vampire. He doesn't really have much of a character. He's just kind of like a creep. And I think I got this, man. I'm pretty familiar with vampires. I think they're really cool. And if I had to kill one, I would pretty much be on my A game. Let's just say that. Like, I wouldn't be flinching about it or anything. Jason Voorhees is interesting because, once again, and I'm sorry, I'm continuing to readjust myself and how I'm sitting. Jason Voorhees, in all of his movies, he pretty much, except for the second one, in the second one, he seems like he can be killed, almost, until the twist at the end. He seems like a human person. But then in the third one, by the end of the third one, he is pretty much almost indestructible, because he just keeps on coming back. He comes back in the fourth one, the sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, Freddy vs. Jason, the remake. So, but the thing is, when they actually defeat Jason, it's rarely that hard, you know? Like, it's really never that difficult to defeat Jason. However, I have played the Friday the 13th video game, which I think, I'm really sad about that video game not being, like, playable anymore, and how, you know, the whole copyright and the lawsuit thing ruined that game. Because the Friday the 13th game is probably one of my favorite video games of all time. Like, I just love that game so much. And I got killed a lot in that game, man. And that was me playing a game. I feel like if I dealt with Jason in real life, I would definitely lose limbs. I would definitely be killed or almost be killed. Next up is Jigsaw. I know that I talked about the dream where I escaped from his Saw room. However, if I had to seriously... It's tough to say. I'm going to put him in the place your bets tier, because he does give you the instructions on what to do. I mean, it's really, really funny. But, like, the thing is that he is really, in fact, I'm going to put him in the dead as fuck tier, because he is so biased. He is so unfair. like all these people, including Safi and I, we watched the whole series, or at least I rewatched the whole series. I had already seen them all. And we saw all these instances where, like, it was literally impossible to get out of these situations. Like the thing with the guy crawling around with the razors and things in the cage. But then again, what? Yeah. Yeah. So it really seems like it just all has to do with what Jigsaw would think of me. And I feel like, I don't know, I would just be really, like, irritated by Jigsaw. I would probably get really scared, and I would end up not doing whatever I needed to do in time. I would probably be like, I want to get out of here, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be like the girl in the sixth one, the one that cuts her fucking hand off, and then she's like, did I learn something from that? Are you shitting me? What the fuck can I learn from cutting my fucking hand off? I wouldn't be like that. I would be pissed off so much that I wouldn't even be able to make it out of the trap. Next up is Leatherface. This is tricky because I'm just going to say that it's the Leatherface from the original movie. But the thing is that it all depends on the Leatherface that you're dealing with. Like, if you're dealing with the Leatherface from the 2022 movie, oh, God, you better just run away. Because that was a scary, intimidating figure who could not be fucked with. But the Leatherface in the original movie, he was still scary. I mean, getting chased by a guy with a chainsaw, being chased is also like a fear of mine, because when you're being chased, I don't know if you guys have it, but you just have like this feeling. It's kind of like a spider sense thing, like Spider-Man, where he's got his spider senses tingling. That's what would happen for me. And I don't know if I think I could get him. I think I could beat him, actually. So there we go. Harry Warden from My Bloody Valentine. I really can't remember that movie very much. I mean, in terms of, like, I can't really remember him as a character. I remember the movie kind of. I mean, I think I rewatched half of it, like, last year, and then I just never got around to finishing it. But I wouldn't say he's that bad, so I would put him in the I got this tier. Yeah. The Leprechaun, I have not seen enough of his movies to say, so I'm going to put him in the place your bets tier. Which I should clarify, place your bets means it could go either way. Michael Myers. Well, it depends on which version. I mean, I could just go up to him and say, trick or treat, motherfucker! And then I could kick him in the balls, and then he'd be dead, right? Or no, that's not how that works. But yeah, this character, he is pretty scary. And the scariest thing about him is that he lurks in the shadows. He's not, he's very, very subtle, but he's effective. I don't like the dark. And I feel like Michael Myers would not really, like, if let's say that he was going on a rampage while it was trick-or-treat night, I don't think that Michael Myers would go after me. I think that he would just go past me and focus on another house with, like, a person who's more vulnerable. Because I have a lot of weapons in my room. Like, I'm just going to come right out with it. Like, I have a knife. I have a fishing knife. I have scissors. I have 2 Swiss Army knives. I have a lighter. I have a stapler. I have a hammer. I have a sword. I have another sword. I have a machete. I have a baseball bat. I have a razor, a straight razor, like a Last House on the Left kind of straight razor. I have a scalpel. I have a, what's that thing called? The thing where you carve things with what do you call it? The metal thing, the gray thing, X-Acto knife. I have an X-Acto knife. I think I have another knife. So yeah, I have a lot of weapons in here. I could pretty much make Michael my bitch. The problem is, though, is that Michael is pure evil. He is the shape. And so he could come back over and over again. I think that's where I'm kind of doubting myself here, is that you think about, yeah, I could get him really easily the first time, but then, Halloween 2, Marco gets fucked up. So I'm going to put him in the losing limbs tier, because I feel like he would come back for the sequel and kill me. I would definitely be a character who would survive to the first sequel, though. Chucky. Yeah, I don't even need to say anything about Chucky. I mean, especially after a shitty TV show, Norman Bates. A boy's best friend is his mother. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. I have never seen the Orphan movie. I'm going to put her in the Place Your Bets tier. And by the way, the reason why I put Norman Bates in the He's My Bitch tier is because I don't find him intimidating in the slightest. I feel like he's a guy. He's just any other guy. He's pretty much only scary in the first movie because she doesn't know that he's a creep and she doesn't know that he's a bad guy. As soon as the people in the movie figure out what is going on, it's pretty easy to overpower him. And in fact, at the end, when he's in his mom's body, he's also weak and fragile like her. And that's something that people don't really take into consideration. At the end of that movie, he just bends down and just falls apart like a weak old woman. And that's because he's in that personality. He's not in the Norman Bates personality. In the third movie, even, at the end of the third movie, she talks him out of being a bad guy. Remember, she tells him the truth, and then he realizes, or he comes out of whatever he's dealing with and stabs the mom, the fake mom's dead corpse. Yeah. Emma Spool's corpse. Next up is Pearl. Honestly, I know that this is going to sound funny, but I despise X. I think it's one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. I started watching Pearl and I got 1 minute into it and then I turned it off. I think that Mia Goth is extremely overrated. She's so vanilla. She is so boring. She's just a typical, there's nothing interesting about her at all. And I know it sounds mean, but it's just, I can't help it. There are just some women and some people even where they're just so vanilla, they're so boring. And so the reason, what I'm getting at is I feel like I hate this character, I hate this movie series so much, I would really, really enjoy getting to take her out. So she'd be my bitch for sure. I'm not going to even act like she would be a challenge. Now, Hellraiser, I don't even have to say anything about him. Dead as fuck. He's terrifying. I haven't ever seen any of the movies except for part one. And even in part one, he's terrifying. Like, he's not even the main villain of the movie. You know, like, he comes in at the end and he defeats the main villain and takes him to hell with him. And, like, yeah, like, the main character, if she had to deal with him in the first movie, she would have gotten fucked up. And, yeah, that movie was weird, but it was really good. The Guy and the Strangers, I guess that this is talking about the new ones. Regardless, I think probably Losing Limbs, because this isn't just him, it's also the girls, the two girls that he works with. And yeah, again, home invasion is like a fear of mine because of my past life, and so I think I would have a little bit of trouble dealing with them. But then again, I do have a lot of weapons. Oh yeah, I have a broomstick. I have a camera tripod. You might not think that that's very scary, but sadly, the cat was in the living room, and the tripod fell over because one of the legs malfunctioned, and the tripod knocked out the cat's tooth, which was really terrible. But, like, yeah, a tripod could do it too. Oh yeah, and I have a cane. I have a cane that was made specially for fighting. It was, I bought it from this Chinese guy, and he was like, it doesn't have a blade at the end, so you can get it and take it on the airplane with no problem. Next up is Art the Clown from Terrifier. I'd probably be dead as fuck. He's an extremely powerful character, and pretty much the only way that you can defeat him at this point, or at least as it seems, is if you have, like, superpowers, like the final girl. You know, you have to be a final girl, and I'm not a final girl. I'm a guy. Next up is, I don't know who this character is, so I'm just going to put him in the Place Your Bets. And then the Children of the Corn. It depends on which Children of the Corn we're talking about. But if we're talking about the ones from the first movie, again, as soon as the adults know what's going on, it's really easy to defeat and overpower these guys. Like, at the end of the movie, the main guy, whatever his name was, like, he's like, you know, you're just a bunch of stupid little kids, and he's just, like, beating on them, and he's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Where's your fucking parents, you know? So I feel like I got this. But then again, if they summon He Who Walks Behind the Rose, that's the wild card here, because He Who Walks Behind the Rose is definitely not someone to fuck with. Next up is the Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. With this character, he would have to be going after me because of some sort of a secret bad thing that I did. And I haven't really done any secret bad things. But let's say that he mistook me for someone who was involved with someone who did something bad. You know, like, let's say I was friends with someone who tried to kill him or something, and he's mad because that was the first movie, right? Like, or whatever happened. I can't remember. It was a pretty good movie, though. I'd like to watch it again this year for Halloween. So I would probably put him in the I Got This tier. He really wasn't that scary. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt beat him, so... Now, Tiffany from the Chucky series... I'm not even gonna... Yeah. Who's that? Oh, is that an alien? Yeah. An alien. Ugh. Well, the new movie made it seem like aliens are really easy to beat. I mean, all you have to do is point a gun at them and they won't even do anything to you, right? Like, so... Yeah. I think the alien... I would still probably lose limbs because they're really fast, and I feel like it all depends on if I have a gun in the first place, which I don't. So, yeah. I would definitely lose limbs, possibly get killed by the alien. A predator, I would probably get killed by the predator. I mean, predators are really, really, they're alpha, and I would not want to mess with a predator. Annie Wilkes from Misery. This is a situation where I feel like I would be so, like, interested in, like, making fun of her and kind of, like, playing her game. But at the same time, it would be pretty scary. Like, what if I did something she didn't like and then she broke my legs or something, you know, like, but I don't know, because it would be so entertaining to just, like, mess with her. Like, if she was, like, an uber fan of, like, my movies, you know, the ones that haven't come out yet, if she was, like, a fan of my YouTube channel, like, I just feel like it would be so much fun to mess with her that maybe I would get tripped up by it, and then she would, you know, hurt me. So I feel like I'm going to put her in the I got this tier, because she is still extremely intimidating. I mean, Kathy Bates is a really good actress, and she knows how to make a villain really scary. Really, really scary. Next up is the Devil's Rejects, or the Firefly family. I would definitely lose limbs to them. I feel like, I mean, they like to torture a lot. They go all over the top and everything. And I feel like they would also... Okay, yeah, actually, I'd be dead as fuck, because they would definitely target me based on my past life, who I was in my past life, and they probably would definitely get me. And also, by the Three from Hell movie, I mean, I guess they have some sort of, like, a supernatural healing ability, because, like, there was no way that they should have been able to, you know, heal after what happened to them at the Devil's Rejects. Like, that was so funny to me. Like, when Three from Hell, the trailer came out, I was like, okay, how are they gonna explain how these guys survived? What I would have done, and what I don't understand why they didn't do it, is have some sort of a satanic ritual performed, and then that heals them, or that brings them back from the dead. I mean, that would have been so much more believable. But since Rob Zombie wanted this to be like a realistic universe, he just wanted to make it to where, like, these characters just happen to heal from hundreds of bullets going through their bodies. Like, yeah. I hate that. This is a little tangent, but, like, I hate that hyper-realism shit that they're on now. That trend where, like, everything's got to be so realistic. You know, like the new Batman series, you know, how the first one sucked. And to be fair, the guy said he was going to do Clayface in the Batman Part 2, you know, with Twilight Boy. And I thought, wow, it would be so cool to see a comic book accurate Clayface in a Batman movie, with, like, detective stuff and all that shit. Oh no, he doesn't want to go fantastical because it's realistic. And I just think that's fucking gay. You know, realistic is just another term for fucking gay. Next up is The Thing. I've never seen The Thing, so place your bets. Next up is, I don't know who this is. Oh, okay, it's Critters. I was trying to, like, lean in close to the screen so that I could see, like, what the hell is that? It's Critters. I think I would lose a limb. I mean, in the second one, again, it seems like they're pretty easy to beat. I mean, all you gotta do is put a bomb in a cheeseburger, and then the critter goes and eats the cheeseburger and gets exploded. You know, like, it really doesn't seem that hard to defeat the Critters. So, but the thing is, is that, again, it all depends on, I don't know how to make a bomb. I don't want to know how to make a bomb. I would have to get one of those Space Ranger guys to help me. You know, like, I can't even remember their names, but, like, yeah. Next up, the last character is Jaws. This one's tough. I really love the water. I really love fishing. I really love the ocean. Like, I know that that's something I haven't really talked about on this channel. I love the water. I love fish. I love swimming. I love just everything about it. You know, the only thing that I don't like is the Ocean Gate submersible. Because I thought, like, wow, that is the most asinine reason to die I've ever heard of. Like, that's so stupid. Like, it just blows my mind. And the fact that, like, that thing is actually still, like, people are still buying tickets to do that is just fucking bizarre. But Jaws, I feel like I could probably defeat Jaws. So I'm going to put him in the I got this tier. I guess his name really is Bruce the Shark. Didn't they call him Bruce? So yeah, I'm going to put him in the I got this tier because I love fishing. I would be in my element if I was going after Jaws. You know, I would be totally like the Richard Dreyfuss character, where I would just be like, okay, what do I need to do next? Okay, let's do that. Let's fuck this guy up. Like, I would not be like, I would not be squeamish. I would be ready to get Jaws. So anyways, please like this video and comment, and then please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more fun videos like this. I really love doing horror videos, and it's just that I don't want to do too many of them because there's so many horror YouTubers, and they just talk about the same things like over and over again. Like, there's this one channel and a Facebook page that I follow, and it's so funny because, like, they just talk about the same horror movies over and over and over again. Like, they're like, what do you think about Halloween 4? And then 5 months later, they're like, what do you think about Halloween 4? Join us for a discussion about Halloween 4. And then a year later, what do you think about Halloween 4? You know, like, just over and over and over again. So I was really happy, though, to do a horror movie video for once this year. I can't wait for October. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest videos like this. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.